This video is brought to you by EvangelistaSports.com, Canada's largest online soccer retailer. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout for 10% off any order of $75 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the Adidas Nitrocharge 1.0 in the brand new Samba pack colorway. Now inside the box, all Adidas includes are the shoes themselves. These do not come with any extras. So I'll get the shoes out of the box really quickly. And if you guys could take a quick second to leave a like on the video, it would be greatly appreciated. So here is a look at the Samba pack colorway of the Nitrocharge 1.0. And I have to say, out of the entire Samba pack, this is by far my favorite colorway. It looks really good. This shade of lime green / highlighter yellow to me gives the Nitrocharge a very cool look, especially since you have so many different materials across the upper, between the Hybrid Touch synthetic, the rubber on the energy sling, the engineered mesh, and then the plastic on the sprint frame. All of these colors are very minutely different in terms of the shades just because they're different finishes, but it gives the shoe a very unique look. And then you have the accent colors with the black Adidas stripes on the inside and outside of the shoe, and then of course the orange laces along with the Samba pack pattern that is very vibrant. It's a combination of blue, pink, purple, as well as orange. You can see on the heel liner you have Samba 14 going across the back of the heel, and then the insole itself also has that same Samba pack pattern throughout. So again, very unique colorway, and it gives the Nitrocharge, in specific, at least in my opinion, a more unique look than the rest of the Samba pack colorways do. Now, as far as the Nitrocharge 1.0 itself goes, this is one of those shoes that I think has more or less flown under the radar over the last couple of months. They haven't released in particularly exciting colorways. That may be part of the reason why. This is by far going to be the brightest Nitrocharge we've seen released. And I hope that people really start paying attention to this particular shoe, because it really is a nice concept that I hope Adidas sticks with in the long run. Now, the concept behind the Nitrocharge 1.0 is that it is a shoe that is designed to be solid. It's designed for an energy style of player, and I'm really not one of those people that's going to talk about boots by position, because I really don't believe in it at all. If you want to play soccer, you can play soccer in any shoes regardless of what is on your feet. You don't have to really worry about that. But what I like about this particular shoe is that it introduces a lot of interesting concepts, and it follows with the concept that you can have a shoe that's not only lightweight and not particularly bulky, but is also going to be protective. And that's really the main feature why you would buy the Nitrocharge along with the energy sling, which we'll get to in just a second. So the upper is made out of predominantly two materials. At the front part of the shoe, with this leather grain finish, you have the synthetic Hybrid Touch material. It's more of a leather-like synthetic. It has a decent amount of thickness to it, so it is slightly padded on the ball. And then you have these pre-molded pads inserted here in the forefoot that not only provide an extra bit of cushion on the ball, but also act as protective elements in the forefoot should you get stepped on, which is a very good idea. Now, this back material is probably one of the most unique aspects of the Nitrocharge, in that it's called protective mesh, and basically it's like a plastic meshing material. It's not thick, it's not stiff, it's very flexible, but because of how it's built, it's very protective should you take an impact to the side of the foot, whether it be another person's cleat or something like that. It really does a good job of absorbing the impact and dispersing it across the entire shoe, reducing the amount of pain that you're going to feel on your foot. Again, kind of flowing with that protective theme. If we move on to the back here, you can see that there are pads along the Achilles tendon area, which I think is a really good idea. Again, it adds very little bulk to the shoe. It's not something that you're going to notice when they're on your feet, but should you take a kick to the back of the Achilles, this extra padding is definitely going to make a gigantic difference in terms of how much of that impact you're actually going to feel. A lot of extra protection there that I think is just a super good idea by Adidas. Now, as far as the energy sling goes, this is this rubber band going across the forefoot on a diagonal. And this is probably one of the most useful aspects of this particular shoe, I would say, in that it's designed to really cradle your foot, hold it in place, and prevent any kind of slippage or rollover in the shoe at all. And you can see there's a little bit of extension here on the outside. So basically this energy sling, it acts with the lacing system itself. These bottom two lace holes are directly attached, as you guys can see. So when you pull the laces tight, it doesn't necessarily squeeze your foot unless you have really wide feet. But what it does is when you pull those laces tight, it secures everything on the inside of the shoe in place
meaning your foot. So when you do make hard cuts and hard turns, your foot's not going to slide around, and it's going to make for an overall much more responsive feel. It's a decent thickness of rubber. It's not flexible at all. And then should you strike the ball, and when you are making touches, it is obviously going to make contact with this Energy Sling rubber area. So it does add for a little bit of additional grip as well. So it's kind of multi-purpose. You get that support, and it also acts as somewhat of a striking element should you strike the ball a little bit lower on the foot. Now, as far as the tongue itself goes, you can see that it is a synthetic material, off-centered lacing system with the laces being pushed slightly to the outside. The inside liner on this shoe is a synthetic leather material. The insole is fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. You can see you have the Nitrocharge branding right there, and of course the Samba pack pattern throughout, mesh liner on top, and it's pretty much just a single layer of foam. Fairly thin, nothing too fancy, but definitely will get the job done for you. And then moving on to the outsole itself, it is a sprint frame construction, and it's probably the most heavy-duty sprint frame that you can get on any of the Adidas models. The heel counter is a little bit more reinforced. As you guys can see, it's very, very solid, and again, provides that little bit of extra protection as well as the support, stabilizing the back of your heel inside of the shoe. Moving on to the sole plate, this is another unique aspect of the Nitrocharge 1.0, but one of the aspects of this shoe that to me really doesn't make too big of an impact in terms of how it feels. First of all, of course, you do have the My Coach cavity, so should you have a My Coach chip, you can slot it in the middle of the shoe. The stud pattern is the same as what you're going to find on shoes like the Predator LZ and some of the older Adi Zeros. Of course, the new one just came out. They changed the stud pattern up, but this is a pretty standard Adidas stud pattern, and it performs well on natural grass playing surfaces. And then going on in the forefoot here, you have this very kind of funky looking zigzag pattern. This is what Adidas calls Energy Pulse, and basically it really has not much to do with this pattern at all. And basically it's a different type of material, a slightly stiffer, more elasticated type of plastic that is supposed to make for a more responsive feel, more feedback when pushing off for running. But to be completely honest with you guys, the difference in stiffness is very, very minimal. I honestly don't notice much of a difference in feel in comparison to something like a Predator LZ2. So to me, the Energy Pulse system is more of a marketing thing than something that's actually going to have an impact on your playing experience in this particular shoe. So that's pretty much it as far as all the technical specifications go. And move on next to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. Like I mentioned earlier, for a shoe that is partly designed around being protective, the Nitrocharge 1.0 is not only not bulky, it's also very lightweight. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind that this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. Going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that these guys weigh in at 8.05 ounces, so right at that 8 ounce mark, which like I said is very, very lightweight considering the amount of protection you get with the Nitrocharge 1.0, and it's definitely going to be the most protective shoe in this particular weight range. So again, if you're looking for something that is going to provide that lightweight feel on feet, but isn't necessarily going to be bulky and still is going to provide some decent protection, the Nitrocharge 1.0 is a rare breed of shoe that's going to fit that particular kind of type of criteria, if you will. So that's pretty much it as far as the weigh-in portion of this video goes. And move on next to a quick on feet so you can get a better idea as to how these shoes fit and what the sizing is like. Alright, here's a look at the Nitrocharges on feet. And what's great about this shoe is that it has the comfort level of something that is a little bit more traditionally styled, but it also has that lockdown tight fit that you would expect from something like a speed boot. And that's really what makes the Nitrocharge such a unique shoe at the end of the day. In terms of comfort level from right out of the box, the Hyper Touch at the front of the shoe is fairly soft and comfortable. There's really not much in the way of break-in time required. It will give in a little bit and stretch to form to your feet after a couple hours of wear time. But for the most part, the way it fits from right out of the box is the way it's going to fit for its entire lifespan. In terms of width, it's a little bit boxier in comparison to something like the Predator LZ in the toe box area. Of course, it does have that energy sling through the forefoot, which is a rubber material. It's not going to stretch, it's not going to give. So once you tighten it up, it will kind of hug the forefoot a little bit. But again, it's not overly tight. It doesn't feel like it's squeezing your foot. And then through the midfoot, again, there's a decent amount of width. But again, you have to consider that it's protective mesh, so it isn't going to stretch at all. Again, coming back to the way it's going to fit from right out of the box is the way it's going to fit for the majority of its lifespan. In terms of sizing, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is pretty much perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would definitely recommend staying true to size. So that's pretty much it as far as the on-feet portion of this video, and I'll leave you to my final thoughts. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Adidas Nitrocharge 1.0.
If you guys would like any extra information as far as how these shoes fit, feel, and perform, be sure to check out the full written review on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com. There'll be a direct link to that review page down below in the description. You'll also find on that review page the buy it now links with the best prices online, including exclusive SR4U coupon codes to get yourself some additional discounts if you are interested in ordering a pair of these for yourself. As far as further videos of the Nitrocharge 1.0 goes, I definitely want to do a slow motion video of this shoe very, very soon, so look out for that in the coming weeks. I'll also leave some annotations on screen to other Nitrocharge 1.0 related videos that I've made in the past. If you guys do have any questions regarding this shoe, feel free to leave a comment down below and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest soccer gear. You can find all of my social media information down below in the description. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.